legitimate trading options. Someone's saying this is perhaps a head and shoulder pattern. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. So it's saying basically there's a shoulder, there's the head, there's the second shoulder, and if it breaks, effectively my line becomes the neckline as well. So that means it would support this trade there. It's not your most classic of head and shoulders, but it's a type. So thank you for that. So if that's the case, there's a higher probability that we could take the trade in this direction. So if we're going to trade it as a head and shoulders, and I haven't gone through this in details with you guys. Now, Paul's saying that this shoulder here is higher than the head. Okay. Now, in theory, it's not, because you should measure it directly in this direction. And when you measure it directly in this direction, can you see that it's a little bit lower? Can you see that, Paul? So again, I'm not going to trade this because it was a head and shoulders, because I don't think it's the sweetest pattern. I'm only answering what Lindsay brought to my attention. I'm actually looking for this trade. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, if you are going to try and trade it as a head and shoulders, it's not the most classic one, but it technically is a head and shoulders. Okay, so this shoulder is actually smaller than the head. If the shoulder cannot be bigger than the head, otherwise it's not the head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so if you're going to trade it, let me zoom in, as a proper head and shoulder pattern, there's two options. You can either wait for a candle to close below the neckline and then you enter the trade. Now, I'm on a 4-hour chart, so basically you would have to wait 4 hours, close, and then you start the trade. Or the other way that you can do it is, as soon as you take out the last significant low, you can just put a pending order to go for it straight away, which would basically mean here. So you could have a pending order straight away to go in this direction, and that would be considered a more aggressive entry into the market. Okay, so those are your options. At the moment, we've produced yet another inside candle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 4 in a row. This one's going to break out shortly. So if it breaks on the upside, we can take our price action trade up. If it breaks on the downside, this order is automatically cancelled. Okay, now it's still valid, it has not triggered yet. So the trade that I was trying to call out this morning is this one here, the one that moves forward, and your entry point should have been lowered to there. That's your entry point now. Okay, so let's see if it breaks up and triggers, or if it breaks down, you cancel it. So if it does break down and you still want to try and get a trade out of it, you might want to go for it at this level in that direction. Is that clear for everybody? Does everybody understand the two options that we have with this particular GBP USD? Alright, let me move on. Let's see what we have with the US yen. Okay, why have I got this level? Let me have a look. Okay, so I'm still marking at that level. We still have not reached this line, so there's an option to look for that. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's frustrating that we didn't get an entry there, so we didn't get nothing. Probably on a 4-hour there might be something. Let's have a look. Doesn't look good on a 4-hour. Okay, what I've seen from my experience of just looking at lots and lots of charts over time, I don't really have a name for what I call it, but the best way that I can describe this particular pattern, it occurs a lot, and you'll see it, you'll get used to it. It's kind of like the way that a tennis ball bounces on a table and then falls off the table. So basically the ball comes, bounces, 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 and then rolls, and then just falls off the table. Okay? Does that analogy make sense to everybody? So it keeps coming to a level, so that the psychology behind such a pattern is that the market is driving it down, but there's a lot of stubbornness in the market that wants to buy it back. Okay? It comes down again, they buy it back. But every time it comes down, let's just say there was, like 1 million stubborn buyers. Every time it comes down, now there's only 900,000 of them. Then there's only 700, until eventually they give up and they realize we're fighting a lost cause, and then bang, and it just drops down. Can you understand the analogy behind that, guys? And with everything that I try and trade, I'm always more interested in what my competitors, in sense of what are the other market movers, retail, whether they're retail or fundamental or fund managers or whoever they are. What's their thought process in the market? And that's the way that I read this one. I would guess that there's a higher probability that this will fall down rather than go up. Nevertheless, I will still only trade what we see. Okay? So, with that in mind, I'm going to draw a new level right here. I think that's about the level there. Okay? And if I'm going to use price action type entry, if I get a candle that closes, looks something like that, I'm ready to jump on it. Okay? And I'm on a daily candle. Forget about all the fundamentals, just trade what you see. That's what the pattern says. Let's see what happens. Okay? Let's move on. That's our US yen plan. Euro yen. Okay, this one's a bit more mismatched. It's just like it's ranging. Okay, I have this urge to box this up, and I'm not going to take any action until I leave this region, unless I decide that I might want to trade like that or like this. Okay, so until that happens, I'm really not interested in this particular pattern right now. I'm actually more interested in it leaving in either direction, and I don't care which way, and that'll give me much nicer setups that I'm looking for. Kiwi dollar. Okay, Kiwi dollar. Now remember, we have RBNZ rate announcement this week with Kiwi dollar. There is actually quite a bit of news on Kiwi, so I want to highlight something to you. I called this trade out last week. Let me just draw it for you so everybody can see it, just in case nobody can see it. That's what I drew. It was on the daily call. I got stopped out on this one, and I had taken an engulfing candle. The red one was engulfing this green one. Okay, so remember, the engulfing pattern is always a little bit more aggressive because you're betting on the trade straight away. Now, usually after the engulfing candle, when we saw this on Monday in the afternoon, I had called it out in the morning, and in the afternoon I took the trade live in the room with you guys. Now, and I said you have two options, guys. You can either jump in right now as the engulfing, and you're going to get a little bit of a better entry, or if you're more conservative, forget about the engulfing, draw an inside candle, which is there, and trade an inside candle situation. Okay. Now the drawback of the inside candle is that you would get triggered at the break here, which would be lower, whereas we entered, I think, somewhere in there. Does everybody remember what I'm talking about, guys? Can I just get some confirmation that you're still with me and I'm not just talking on my own? Thank you. All right. So the drawback is that you've got a worse entry, but the pro to it was that it may actually break the top and then there is no trade at all. So if you were trading the inside candle, you would have had protection, and this trade you would not have taken it. I traded the engulfing candle, so I got stopped out. Alright, so why am I telling you these things? Because you need to find where you sit with your comfort zone. Okay, we can find millions and millions, literally millions of styles of trading, and the style that's going to work for you is the one that you psychologically can handle the best in your mind. Okay, I know for a fact that inside candles are very, very high probability trades, and they're psychologically relatively easy for, you know, like moderate risk takers to take. Now, the fact that you're in this room, you all must be at least moderate risk takers, otherwise you wouldn't even consider trading, full stop. Okay, so if you're a little bit more aggressive and you really like the pattern, now that was a solid line, you know, so I looked at that and I said, I'm in straight away, so I'm happy, and I got stopped out, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, the point is you need to find your balance point. Okay, and shortly, I'm just preparing some material, but shortly we're going to be starting a trading challenge, and this is going to give you the opportunity to find where you fit. Where are you in your tolerance levels, and also for you to trade with me and watch me trade my live account to see where we go. Alright, so we got stopped out on that one. There's a good lesson to learn out of it, so I just highlighted it. Cost me some money, but it's a good lesson for you guys to learn. Okay, so what do we have right now? I'm trying desperately to make this line fit again, and I kind of can. However, the candle with a fractal is this one up here. So I got nothing for you on the Kiwi dollar. So what we need to wait for, we'll still... Now I can get rid of this line now, so there's no point in having it anymore. We need to wait for a pullback before we can get our entry level. That's probably our best bet. At the moment, it seems we're in trend. Now, I think with the nature of news and data that's coming out this week, we will probably jolt out of this region very, very shortly, one way or another. Okay? All right. Let's move on. US CAD. US CAD was a very strong moving currency last week. It had a relatively good week. I'm talking Canadian. Okay, so if the US CAD drops down, it means either the US is going weak or the Canadian is going strong, or both. Do you think we're at some kind of support level, guys? What do you think of this level here? Sometimes they're not perfect. I can see that there's something there's something there again, definitely there. Okay. It's not super clean. There could be something there, and only wicks have gone through. In any case, okay, so I'll leave that line there, but in any case, I don't have the price action. See, this was the inside candle there. However, we broke the bottom, which basically means cancel your order out, and you did not trigger into this trade. Oh, okay, US CAD, I can't do nothing. I really want to, but I can't. Alright, so the best plan here is wait for a pullback and then let's see if we can hit it. Okay? Let's move along. Aussie 200. Oh, this is another one that looks like that bouncy ball type setup, where the ball comes bounce, 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 bounce. Hasn't bounced enough yet. Let's see a 4-hour chart. Okay, on a 4-hour chart, if anybody's interested in this level looks a lot nicer to me. See if we can get price action there to go for the bounce. Now, the only thing that I would do, if you're going to try and take this trade, I would also draw a line across here, because it's really more like a triangle, and make sure that we have enough room to get to this level. So if you trigger a trade here and your stop is there, just make sure that this distance is at least 1-to-1 to support your trade. Okay, Alan's saying he's still in a buy here. I know which trade you're in, Alan. So you would be in from possibly that one there. Yep. Okay. So this was a classic pullback setup and buy. So let's see if we hold, if the level holds, which would be good, and hopefully we can break that line to continue to move forward. Okay. But at the moment, the way I see it right now, I just as a brand new chart over here, if we get what we're looking for, otherwise there's nothing on for us. Okay. One thing that I will point out to you guys as well is, if we're in a trade from last week or something like that, and then all of a sudden today we see something different, don't be disencouraged by it, and make sure that you refer to your trading rules just to see that it tells you what to do next, okay? Because last week this was like a very, very nice setup. It was a classic setup, so it doesn't change the fact that at the time that we saw it, it met every rule that we had. So because now that you might see something different, you've got to stick by your guns, or at least refer to your trading rules so that your trading rules tells you what to do next. All right. Oil. Okay, we're still stuck in this range. We're not moving anywhere. Let's see on a 4-hour chart. See if we no setups. Nothing. Okay, look, with oil, just hang tight on it. If you do get a setup on the fringe, that's the only thing I can see, but make sure it's right on the fringe or in this direction like that. Okay. Alright guys, does anybody have any questions? Anything that you'd like to... It can be off topic. We haven't been doing the Thursday classes as often as we have, so please use the Monday as your opportunity to bring any question that you have. I don't mind if it's off topic. I'm sure everybody will get a benefit from it. I'm more than happy to answer it. Give you an opportunity to type anything in. I'll just go back and recap what we're doing. Aussie dollar. We're waiting for a pullback to see if we can get a pullback entry into trend continuation. So that's what we're looking for. Euro USD. We're at a head spot. We don't have a sell set up, so we just wait for this one either to break through and pull back so we can enter. GBP USD, we have pending orders in the market. We have a pending order here if you're trading the daily call trade. Alternatively, you could have a pending order down there somewhere into this direction. It's a tightening market. Okay, so definitely it's gonna break away one direction or the other. So keep an eye on it. Alan, I'll have a look at gold in one moment. I just don't have it on my charts. I don't know what happened there. US yen, bouncy ball type scenario. Let's see if it falls through like we're looking for. Euro yen, we're doing nothing. We're in a congestion zone. Kiwi dollar, we're waiting for a pullback. US CAD, we waiting for a pullback. We don't have a setup to trade off this floor. ASX, again, bouncy ball type setup. Oil, nothing. Let me have a look at gold. Give me 1 second. Where is gold? Gold. Okay. The good thing is we've taken out these highs. It looks like we've taken them out, so I would expect this to move forward. Then when it comes back, that's where I'm looking to get my trade in this direction, on the assumption that we're going to get continuance or trade continuation type trend. Other than that, there's nothing on gold right at this moment other than what I've just drawn on my charts. Okay, someone's asking, can I have a look at the Aussie CAD? Yes, I can. Aussie CAD, here we go. Okay, can everybody see what I'm trying to get out of this? Now, there's only a couple of things that I need to consider first. First of all is, if I was trading trend, I may be in a trade here in this direction already. Now, that trade there would have triggered, stops there. This trade would be very close to 1-to-1. Let me just measure it out. It's about 75-ish, 85. So the 1-to-1 point may have hit already, okay, for the forward trade. So I prefer trend lines better than trend. We've already established that. I'm sure I've said that in the past. Okay, so if anybody's interested in this, what I would be looking at trading is the break of this. There's an inside candle there. That's what I'm looking at on a resistance line. So I would be interested in perhaps trading the break off there. Okay, there you go. Gold sell off 50% retracement question mark. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Gold. Let me go back to gold. Okay, what Lindsay is saying is, if you take a point up there somewhere to down here, this level here is the 50% level. Is 50% a Fibonacci number, guys? Yes or no? Quick quiz. 50% a Fibonacci number, yes or no? You've got 50-50 answers at the moment. If you don't know, type in a question mark. Okay, the answer is no. 50% is not a Fibonacci number. People put it on their charts because sometimes the market can come back halfway, but it's not really a Fibonacci number. I can't really find a reason to take a trade on gold. Although it has come back to this level, yes, I understand that. I would have been happy if it was a 61.8 level. So I've got nothing on this one. Okay, thanks Lindsay for that. Yeah, I can see what you're saying prior to the swing. I understand. It's still not. It's not something that I, at least in my trading rules, or forms part of the way that I like to analyse the market. So, okay. Any other questions, anyone, before we wrap up today? Okay, guys, keep. I produced a daily call for you guys every morning, so watch it, send it to your friends. We appreciate it. The more people watch it, the more I feel like doing it. But if no one's looking at it, then it takes up a lot of my time. I am quite busy. Try and take advantage of these Monday sessions. It's the only time that you've really got me with my undivided attention. So bring in any questions that you have throughout the week, because I specifically block out this section of my week to be a trader, and it's something that I am passionate about and that I like. So please, anything that you have during the week, write it, bring it in, and I'm more than happy to try and assist you with it. Alright, that wraps up for today. I will show you again the last when data is coming out. Here it is again. These are the events of the week. Just remember, Reserve Bank of Australia tomorrow, cash rates, and New Zealand Reserve Banks is on Thursday morning. So those are the two highest impacting new pieces of news that are coming out. Other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic week. Any questions, as always, bring them next week. I prefer to answer them live, but if not, just email me. More than happy to help. Have a great trading week. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.